Welcome to the Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
We're back, man. Episode 197.
Yes, sir.
By the time you guys hear this, Christmas will be over. It will be we'll be dropping on
28.
Yeah, the 28th, I believe. By the time you hear this, we're recording this on Friday morning because I have to take off to work and Keith's going to be gone. So we decided to crank one of these podcasts out. We're not, we're kind of strained on time, but we'll give you as much time as we can today. But this is kind of like the dedication that you have to people who believe in you and listen to your content. Me and Keith totally could have said, hey, you know what, man, let's skip this week. We already did 196 in a row. So, let's just, we can afford to skip a week. But I don't think you can, especially when you haven't made it. You can't make reservations for yourself.
Yeah.
And say, hey, let's just take a break.
Yeah.
Taking a break for what? You haven't won anything. It's almost like people who are going to be celebrating on New Year's and you still the same motherfucker you was in 2020.
But as soon as that Spotify deal come around.
Oh, man. As soon as that Spotify coming down, you ain't going to see me in Key for a month. I'm going to Turks and Caicos. I'll be like, what listeners? Yeah. But
I think the way, and I don't know if, I know Gilly and Wallow, they record theirs like not necessarily in the time that they release it. Sometimes,
it's
they
ahead,
could, yeah, so they could. And then with the thing that they benefit from too is they're primarily doing interviews.
Right.
So it doesn't even matter. Like that interview could come out in 3 months from now.
They don't have to be timely.
Yeah. So obviously they don't do it like so far behind that it's not even relevant anymore. But like they have that benefit. So even during the holiday season, they could still be dropping podcasts here and there, and they could be at the crib chilling. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, with us, I don't really like that. I like the more current event type podcasts. I feel like it connects us more with the people in real time. Than recording 12, 15 podcasts in a row, and then there's some major world event that's going on, and the people that listen are like, man, fuck, I want to hear what's Keith and Eddie's take on this, right? And they won't ever get it because we just recorded 20 fucking podcasts and just put them out.
Yeah,
I think we want. That'd be a cool way to structure a deal with any large platform and say, hey, well, we want you to do these podcasts in seasons. I'd be like, nah, we're not doing that.
Yeah,
we doing the podcast the exact same way we've been doing them. Because some people do their podcasts in seasons, and I don't get that.
Yeah, a lot. I think most of those be the people that do like interviews and stuff.
Yeah,
like they do like seasons. That doesn't make sense to me.
No.
Like outside of the interviews, I understand the interviews because you're setting up times and you're meeting with the president or CEOs or artists or something, and you gotta you have a production behind it. But people I know there's like a couple local podcasts that was I remember somebody mentioned that to me, like, yeah, we're gearing up for our second season right now. I'm like, second season? I didn't even know y'all first season ended. I thought y'all had to stop doing the podcast.
How you gonna have a season with 4 episodes? That shit's crazy, man.
They be treating it like an episodic thing.
Yeah, that's not how it works, man. That ain't how it works. I especially now at the age of 36, I don't believe there's any reason to get involved with anything if you're not gonna work hard for it.
Oh, facts.
If you're not gonna work hard for it, don't waste your time and other people's times. Like, don't even bring attention to yourself if you're not willing to do the work for that thing. If you say, hey, I'm starting a podcast, you guys come check it out. And then you do one podcast, and then you skip 4 weeks, then you do one more. And it's like, I get it, bro. I get it. Some people, they do it for fun. But it's like, at the same time, it's like, why even, like a podcast, why even start that type of platform? Yeah. A podcast more or less is for information. And then, by the way, if you do it like that and only 2 people listen to it, that means that you recorded all that content. You took all that time. You talk for over an hour or so for 1 or 2 people to listen, and they're not listening because you're probably not consistent. You probably don't invest yourself in your actual equipment that you're using, and you don't actually you're not a conversationalist. So you more or less wasting your time because you got 2 people listening, and it's like, yo, do something else at that point.
The thing that I hate when somebody hits you up in pretty much any capacity. Like, hey, bro, like, what type of equipment do you use for such and such? And I'd be like, oh, I bought this. It's probably like roughly $700. This right here goes for like $500.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, dang, that's expensive. But it's just like, it is expensive. But at the end of the day, you got to invest in yourself.
100%.
And relative to the things you buy, right? So if you smoke weed every day, you're going to spend $700 maybe over the course of a month or two.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So if you just stop smoking weed for a month or two and then invest it in yourself, who knows what the possibilities are.
Yo, Burner, the rapper Burner said something. I listened to his episode yesterday, or his interview, and he said something that was deep and it was real. He said that his doctor was the only one to have a test for cancer that was done through your blood, and it tested like over 50 something strains of cancer, and the test was $1,000. And he said, like, he said that might sound steep for a lot of y'all, but like, hey, don't get that Gucci belt. Take care of your health. And it's like that was a good example. It's $1,000 test, but if you go do that and it screen you for cancer, then I'm thinking about doing that fucking test.
Yeah, man.
$1,000. Me and Burner are around the same age, and he said he didn't have no symptoms. He didn't have nothing.
Yeah, and they caught it early enough.
They said something like had he waited like 6 more months, then he would have been in trouble. So another thing too, which is just another topic. Let's make sure we go into this next year doing a little better to our bodies. Because a lot of these cancers and stuff come from a bunch of processed shit that we eat, man, and it ain't good. Hot Cheetos, shit like that. That's not even real food. That's a science project. Like if you read the back of the Hot Cheetos, that motherfucking shit, it sound like a nuclear bomb was made or something.
Yeah,
it sounded like Albert Einstein created a formula for a bomb, but it's actually Hot Cheetos.
They have the real items in there, but they have like a different state of it. So on the back, instead of saying corn, it'll say like corn fibers or something.
Yeah, corn isolate. Isolated corn. Indonesian salt. Oh my goodness!
Man. I was like, what in the world is this?
Yeah. Agitated ground beef. Agitated? What the fuck is you doing? Yelling at cows? You pissed the cow off and then you killed it. That's fucked up, yo. Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, by the time you guys hear this, you would have experienced Christmas and stuff and been with your families, and we just want to tell you guys one of our biggest gifts from you has been you listening to the podcast all year. This has been our best year out of any year that we've ever had. Man. And the numbers, they jumped significantly in 2021.
51%.
51% more listens this year, which is 50%. That's fucking high. And in 2020, me and Keith was just kind of like, dang, like what's going on? We kind of stagnated. We barely got more listeners, more viewership in 2020, and then 2021 hit, and that shit just started booming. And it just kind of reaffirms why we do what we do. We don't do it just to get listens. We do it because we love it. Someday we want to make a lot of money doing this and actually be able to change the lives of people, or more or less, not even so much change the lives, just have a group of listeners who are open-minded and objective thinkers, and kind of I won't say curate, but kind of create a fan base or listenership that is reflective of me and Keith. I think that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, I think that I think for me, I almost look at this podcast as somewhat of a science project, because in my opinion, I haven't been extremely successful at much of anything yet. I think I've had success. I think I'm, a semi-successful person. I've graduated college and, made a decent living for myself, and I work for myself for the most part.
Successful haircut.
Yeah. And I think that, but where I want to go, I'm not there yet. 100%. Right. And I think that, from like the time, like my senior year in college, maybe to the, up until right now, you always hear these different, whether they're TikToks or interviews on YouTube or interviews on The Breakfast Club, interviews on, $1 million worth of game, and all these people, they're saying the same things as far as you just got to stick with it. You got to stick with it. You got to, you got to keep grinding. You got guys like Nipsey Hussle having the, the kind of marathon moniker and all these different things.
Right.
And it's, like I said before, I'm connecting that to the journey with this podcast, right? So I'm trying to figure out, like, yo, is it real? If you do put in the hours, if you do put in the time, if you do, stay consistent for however many years, if you do, the whole Gary Vee thing, he talked about artists dropping songs every day, or, Russ dropping a song a week, for a whole year, all these things. I'm like, yo, is this real, or is this just conversation? And, it's kind of one of those, like, walk by faith, not by sight kind of thing. Yeah. So we just gonna keep doing it and doing it and doing it and see. And, maybe it'll take 5 more years. Maybe it'll take 5 more months. But you just never know. But I don't want to give up before it happens. It's like that kind of meme or that cartoon where
I'm about to say that
the guy is chopping down the rocks, and he turns around. And
I was thinking about that right now when you said it. Yeah. It's the meme, the picture. The guy has a pickaxe and he's hitting this wall. And he gives up, and he's got literally like less than a half inch, and it's a bunch of gold on the other side of the wall. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the problem. I think that you have to dedicate your life to something that you really want. 2 Chainz didn't really blow up till he was 36 years old as a rapper. That's 36. Mm-hmm. You think of most rappers that are 23, 25, 24, right in there, and they're young. So you figure it's not an older man's game, but he stayed around until he blew up. And it's so many other artists and musicians that have had this what's his name that passed away? He was writing music, but he didn't really start like really singing until he was 33.
Bill Withers.
He didn't start writing, I think, until he was 33 years old. Mm-hmm. So it's like, bro, you can't just give up. Like, this is a journey. I think there's some people that listen to the podcast that can appreciate the fact that we've literally recorded over 20,000 hours of content. Mm-hmm. Over 20,000 hours of content on a weekly basis since 2018. Mm-hmm. And I listen to people like, yeah, man, life is tough, man. I can't do this or that. And hey, to each his own. Everyone has their breaking points, or their boiling points where they can only do so much. They got to take breaks from things and whatnot. But the way I look at it is, regardless of what goes on in my life, I feel like I have a dedication. Like, this shit for me is like breathing or drinking water. Mm-hmm. So it's like the day I found out my dad had cancer, I came back in here and finished the podcast, and nobody even knew till I mentioned it later on. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And my dad was given 1 to 3 years to live, and I got my tears off that day, and then came right back to the podcast, no problem. Mm-hmm. It's all kind of shit that goes on in our life, but I think that the severity in which we want something, the seriousness in which we want something, you never veer off that path. Yeah, you kind of just stay on it. Mm-hmm. It's some people, man. I seen this chick, man. I don't want to call her a chick, but I seen this woman when I was in college. And I remember I dropped out, and I had her in a class, and she had like 3 kids, and she had like a job, and she got her degree and walked across that stage. At that moment, I knew I just didn't work hard enough. Mm-hmm. If a woman with 3 kids and a job can graduate from college, what the fuck is my excuse?
That's facts. I think I was talking to my friend this morning, actually, and he was just like kind of messing around with some music and stuff like that. And he don't have time to do it as much because he's a teacher now and stuff like that. But the thing that I realized is, like, just with anything I want to do as far as writing and making music and podcasting and stuff like that, obviously you become successful whenever God see fit. But at the same time, we can do things ourselves that can kind of like I guess force God's hand in a sense, right? Yeah. So if you say you drop one podcast and you just sitting on your couch and you like, man, this better blow up. If this don't blow up, then I quit. Yeah. Or you can be like, yo, I'm gonna just keep it going. I may be 35, 36 years old, mm-hmm. When I finally reach success, but I'm gonna just do it until I see something happen. Yeah. And I just think, like, and most of our listeners, we're pretty much peers, like around a similar age, within a 8-7 year gap or whatever. And same goes to anybody out there. I think that a lot of us want to do different things, and we can do it. You know, it's a difficult process sometimes if you want to start a business or you want to. I know a lot of people that don't want to work at their jobs anymore. And you can do that thing that you love and you can be successful at it. I think the saddest thing for me is when I talk to old people from college. I talk to old, high school classmates and stuff like that, and they're in the same positions or in a worse position than they were when we were hanging out more frequently. You'd be like, "Hey man, like how's life been going?" "Oh, I'm good, man. I'm just working at Walmart right now, just trying to pay my bills and stuff." Which, there's nothing wrong with working at Walmart, but there is something wrong with working at Walmart when you have real goals and aspirations that you're not actually going for anymore. And the conversation gets tired. Like, you'll talk to that person today, and then 3 years from now, I'll be like, "Hey man, did you ever, pursue your photography that you wanted to do, or did you ever start that business?" You'd be like, "Oh man, I gave up on that a long time ago. That was just a long shot. Now I'm just taking care of my kids and you
don't want that.
Yeah,
you're gonna die very unfulfilled if you just fall back into that. Oh man, I'm just getting a job, take care of my family. Like that doesn't make you happy. It doesn't, man. You'd be a lot happier being the person you want to be. And the thing about it, what you learn is it takes a certain type of integrity to do that, to remain steadfast in that journey and to not veer off of it. It's an attitude. Like this morning I went to the gym and I've been very busy this week and I didn't have a lot of time. I made the excuse. I was in the parking lot and I went in reverse to go back home. I was like, I don't got enough time. I got to do the podcast. I pulled right back into that slot and went right in that gym. I sure the fuck did. Went right in there, hit the weights, because I know what I want to be. I know how I want to look. I know how I want to feel. I know the type of money I want to make. So knowing all those things, you're reversing the process. If you're not literally becoming who you want to be, becoming your higher self, is doing a little bit every day. And a little bit adds up to a lot. And I think that would probably explain this podcast the best. Is a little bit added up to a lot. We got over 20,000 hours of content. We have thousands of listens on different platforms. The objective now going forward into 2020 is 2022, excuse me. Fuck.
Oh, you would.
I was a whole year back. God damn.
I want to go back to 2020.
God damn, I'm turning to Eddie Biden. Yeah. Can you imagine Joe Biden totally forgetting what he was saying and say something racist? He'd be like, "My objective in this administration is to help as many African Americans as I can help." He'd be like, "God damn, this motherfucker lost it." But yeah, it's a little bit every day adding up to a lot.
Yes.
And the objective going into 2022 is to get over 100,000 listens in that year.
Yeah.
Now me saying this, I would sound like a psycho to some people because people don't believe you can make it until you do. So until I do, I'm just going to keep doing this. Me and Keith are going to keep doing this shit, and you will continue to get content every week.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, me and Keith already spoken into existence. Once we get that deal, we might be gone for a few weeks. We might be gone, man.
Yeah, we deserve it, for real.
We deserve it, man.
And then when we come back, it'll be a whole little production.
Oh yeah,
assistant or something.
Oh
camera
yeah,
guys.
100%. Not only that, we're gonna have a bigger story because you're gonna be like, yo, these two guys that were on the microphone for years thought that they could make it, and they did, and now they're millionaires, right? And I've spoken that into existence. And my only objective to be a millionaire is not to be some cool rich guy; is to be of service to others, to actually help my local community in Bakersfield and other places.
Yeah,
to be a resource for those people, and also be comfortable. Because if I'm doing all this work, I've worked regular jobs long enough in my life at the age of 36 to where I never fucking want to work another job again. So if I make all that money, when, because you have to speak things into existence when you want them, when I make millions of dollars, I will feel very deserving of it. I will enjoy the perks. I will hire a chef, I will hire security, and I will hire a lawyer. Those are the three things I'm going to do. But the first one would be a chef. That's the first one.
Yeah.
I need food before I need security.
Yeah. Yeah, food is your life security.
Yeah, man.
Nah, it's gonna be a beautiful thing, and I think this year has, it's been a really fulfilling journey, because we come from, and we haven't even reached the pinnacle of our success yet, but we have, I think we have, if it just ended now, we have a good enough story to be like, yo, we started on, one microphone with, single digit listens. You know what I mean? Like, just to create the wildest, and to even be here is a form of success. So, we was just recording in Eddie's living room, like literally sharing a microphone, just to hold, no camera, no lights, no nothing, just, in there recording, going back and forth on a microphone, low key nervous, the first episode, you know, and we told the story before, but my brother had to call us and be like, yo, like, y'all not y'all selves.
You hold it back a little bit.
Yeah, you can be more comfortable. And, the next week we came in was really, we really kind of got more comfortable.
Yeah.
But,
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And look, it never gets old to me. I always appreciate anyone that will see me out in public. And it's always unsolicited. It's not like it's people doing it. But when they approach me and say, hey, how you doing? Yo, I love what you're doing with the podcast. I'm like, wow, man, I appreciate that. It lets me and Keith know that we're doing something right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that we're not putting out some bullshit just to get clicks. Like, we actually are regular human beings, two black guys living in Bakersfield, California, experiencing life just like you all. Like, it's not. There's no like elite. What do you call it? Not elitism or whatever you call it. Elitist. It's not some elitist like, yeah, we got a podcast and you don't.
Yeah. And I think also too, like, just because we have gained so many different listeners and stuff like that does not mean that we still don't need that push or that compliment.
It feels
sometimes.
Amazing, man.
Yeah, exactly. I think because sometimes, like, even for me, like, I don't know if any of you follow me on Instagram, but I did a giveaway for a song, my song Shots that I just released, and basically the giveaway was basically the giveaway was tickets to a Blast concert on New Year's Eve. But what happened was it got a lot of traction on Instagram where people was liking it and people shared it and stuff like that. But the actual thing that I wanted it to do, it wasn't happening because, one, I wanted people to click on the link in the bio so they could sign up for the giveaway. And then two, I wanted people to like save the song and listen to the song. And when I looked at the analytics, it wasn't, it wasn't matching up.
Really lopsided.
Yeah, it was a lot, like I was saying, a lot of traction on Instagram, but the thing that I was pointing them to, it wasn't working out how I wanted it to. So I low-key was down on myself. I was like, man, like, you just think about, like, man, I just need to, like, should I just give it up? Should I just focus on doing this or that? And the next morning, my cousin Brian, shout out to Brian, he called me and he was like, hey, Cuddy, you up? And then I texted him back. I was like, yeah, I'm up. What's up? And then he just FaceTimed me. And mind you, I'm just laying down. And he was like, man, I've been playing your song back to back. Like, I just love the whole story. And, it's so relatable for me back in the day when I was going to the parties and, they were shooting. And, like, everything you said, it reminds me of a NWA song. And I was like, man, it lifted me up so much. Like, and it kind of, like, gave me that extra push or motivation that I needed that day because I was really feeling terrible about the whole situation. So I say that to say, like, with this podcast, even, or just in general, if you got somebody out there and you see them, somebody doing stand-up or they posting skits on their page or they doing vlogs, whatever the case may be, like, make sure you let them know. If you believe that they doing something good or amazing, like, let them know because you don't know what people are going through.
100%.
Putting this content out for the audiences.
Yes, that's a great point. I think only if you love it, if you like it, I don't think you need to have a bunch of people to agree with if it's good or not.
Don't put no fire emojis under nothing you don't like.
100%. Stop doing that. But if you genuinely like something and no one else really likes it, let that person know, hey, I like that. That was dope. I think that I think a lot of our listeners are like that because since we haven't, made it to the pinnacle of podcast glory. You have people that are coming up and they actually like the content. These people are different because they're different from the sense that they like us and what we have to say, even though we're not Dwayne Rock Johnson or Drake. See, now if it was Drake, they would be going out of their way to do anything he's asked for. Like, I need y'all to go to my thing, click my bio, go online, do
easy,
this.
huh?
Oh, they would be going everywhere because it's Drake.
Yeah, it's
people
Drake.
will wait in a line.
Drake.
Yeah, people will wait in a fucking line for 4 hours for a pair of Jordans.
Yeah.
But they won't even buy a pair of shoes from their friend for $20. This is just how people are, and it's the struggle of a content creator. As a content creator, we do get down on ourselves sometimes. Sometimes we have an issue with believing in ourselves. Sometimes we have imposter syndrome. Sometimes we question if we're going to make it. But when you keep going, you get these little nuggets of hope that pop up.
Yeah.
You get people inboxing you. You get people donating money to your platform.
Yeah.
You get people sharing your content. You get people binge listening to the content. You look at the analytics and you see that this podcast is going all over the country. And that's what
People
keeps you
in
going.
I remember a girl in Brooklyn, she was listening to the podcast and was just agreeing. I think you were saying something.
Yeah.
And she was just like, listening. You're like, yep, exactly. And I was like, yo,
What
in
the
Brooklyn?
fuck?
What in the world?
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Shout out to Brooklyn.
It's always, shout out to Brooklyn. It's always timely, too. You know, those things when, like you said, like it may be a down week. We may have, you know, our average listens per week is probably gotten up to like 200, roughly 200, a little bit over 200.
Nah, it's more than that. That shit is like 270 something. That's it,
270
and that's just on. That is just on SoundCloud.
Yeah, that's what.
It's not counting all the other platforms.
Sometimes I'll see it'd be like one something. Sometimes it'll be two. Whatever the case may be. But sometimes if it dips down, and it hasn't been this in a minute, but if it dips down to like 100, 110, you'd be like, man, this is
crazy.
Like it's just like what's the deal? And then at that same time, it'll be somebody that'll share a portion of the podcast on the story on Instagram, or we'll see somebody in person. And they'll be like, yo, man, love the podcast. Keep them coming. Or, you know, somebody that you haven't talked to in years, they'll be like, man, I love your podcast. Like, you know, keep doing your thing. And it's like, man, I didn't even know these people were listening to the podcast.
Yeah, and these numbers are, like I mentioned, it's incremental, but it adds up to a lot. Like, it's times where we'll have jumps where we go from, 276, 280, 250, 212, like listens per week that they average out, and then it'll go to 500. One time it went to like 800 or some shit. Like it jumps. We have massive spikes that happen, and we don't know why it happens. And then it goes down and it goes up. It's like the stock market. Like one thing you have to understand as a content creator, you cannot control the analytics. You cannot control the analytics. I've had people that hit me up too. They was like, yo, I only listen on Apple. And I'd be like, oh, man, well, I don't give a damn where you listen. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to us, right? But two guys from Bakersfield averaging, with all the platforms, iHeart, all of them is probably around 5, probably something, 4, 5, roughly.
Maybe, yeah.
500, something like that. Yeah. So if you averaging that many listens for two dudes that haven't, hit the podcast glory, imagine what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Imagine like certain podcasts when they look at their shit and they see 20,000 in a week.
Yeah.
And they like, man, we doing bad. It's like, really?
I wish it was 20,000 for
me.
me.
What's funny about this too? Most podcasts are not successful from a number stance. So with us, we're close to being in the top 3 percentile. Once you keep going up, once you get, I think, was it over 1,800 a week, 1,800 listens a week?
In a month.
On a month, my bad, not a week. In a month. And we was knocking that number down for a while.
Yeah. It was like a 2 months, maybe 2-3 month stretch.
Yeah, it was just boom, 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 boom. So it's, two guys that are actually, and we got that information from Charlemagne when he was talking one day. And I'm like, what? Yeah,
because he runs he has his own podcast network. So he knows exactly what's going on in the podcasting landscape.
What's crazy too, the reason why the imposter syndrome, as far as we're concerned, kind of is starting to decrease, is because there are podcasts that are less successful than us that are getting paid. Like they're starting, like that girl with the Bible girl. She wasn't, the Bible Brianna, your name is. She wasn't getting very many listens, and then actually became friend of Horrible Wheezy.
Yeah.
You know, and Wheezy started investing some time in her and stuff, which is dope. Sometimes you need that push.
Yeah.
Sometimes people believe in you.
Yeah.
You know, we also got to sacrifice. Me and Keith got a lot more work we need to do. I was talking to Keith about, like the how do you say it? The very beginning of a lot of people's careers, like Bone Thugs and Harmony. You know, they initially had opened up for Eazy-E in Cleveland, and I think what ended up happening is they wanted to reconnect with him, so they went out to L.A. on a one-way trip. One-way trip. They flew out to L.A. and they was homeless for 3 months before they connected back with Eazy-E. They called the fucking it was like, I think it was like a studio, like a recording studio or something. They called it every day. They talked to the receptionist and everybody who would listen to them, and they was rapping on the phone. So they was rapping on the phone literally every day. Every member of Bone Thugs rapping. And it got to the point where everybody was familiar with Bone Thugs rapping on the fucking phone. This is 1993, I think. Right? And finally, Eazy-E, they caught up with Eazy-E and he said, y'all them rapping niggas on the phone, huh? And from that day, Eazy-D took him under his wing until he unfortunately had passed away from HIV. Or I think he passed away from AIDS, one of them. But they were just extremely diligent in what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Until it happened. I look at like comedians and actors and everything, their career, like when it was in its infancy, and you would never think people like them made it. Jay Leno was homeless. Tiffany Haddish was homeless, living in a Geo Metro. Kevin Hart was about to get thrown out of his apartment. Fucking, it goes on and on. All these people that we love and all these people that we, buy their tickets to their shows, all this shit.
Even J. Cole, he couldn't afford to pay the rent, but his manager essentially let him live there for free.
Yeah.
Because he believed in him.
Crazy, yeah. And then even the people, Andrew Schultz, we went over to his show over in LA at the Orpheum Theater, and him and Charlamagne had a conversation, and Andrew Schultz, they were talking, and Charlamagne said, "Man, I'm so proud of you. I just want to let you know. Like, I remember when you cried to me, man, when you cried because things wasn't going the way they wanted." He said, "Yeah, man, I remember that." So you look at these people and you look at them as these invincible, extremely talented, funny, cool people, but they were just like me and Keith.
But the thing about it is, like, those situations are a make or break situations.
Right.
Right? You think about it in terms of basketball. Like Kobe Bryant, they lost to the Celtics in 2008?
Yes.
Yeah. So he lost to the Celtics in 2008. And what he did was, him and his team, of course, and Phil Jackson, they just reshaped how they moved. They needed to be tougher. They needed to be a tougher team. They needed to handle certain situations a little bit better. They needed to handle the defensive pressure a little bit better, and just get better across the board. And then they come back and they come back and beat the Magic, which was it wasn't really a fair series. But then they come back and beat the Celtics. Yeah, you know what I mean. So that's the type of stick-to-itiveness, or like that, just overcoming that make or break situation that you need to be successful.
There's a whole lot more that goes with that story. After they lost to the Celtics in 2008, they had the Olympics after that. And Kobe, they ended up playing, I think they played Spain. And that's where Gasol. And he was punishing Gasol. Like, he was purposely, like, bumping into him and doing all kind of shit. And then after they beat them, Kobe took his gold medal and put it in his locker. And it's like Kobe sent a direct message, like, motherfucker, you better toughen up. And they did. And a lot of the reason why they lost in 08, because Gasol was getting punked. He was getting punked. The next year, he played a lot tougher, and then they played the Celtics again, and then they won.
Yeah.
And I think
it was a tough series, too.
It was a very tough series, man. Very, very tough. But it just goes to show, man, like, it's a journey. Like, you will be so hard on yourself in your low moments. But in your low moments, you have to find how do you say? You have to find it deep enough inside of you to say, look, I'm not going to quit, man.
Yeah.
It's so easy for me to just quit right now. I remember.
That's the easiest thing to do.
It's the easiest thing to do. Like, I remember, I forgot his name. I think his name was Joey. I can't remember his name. But he was a big guy in the gym. Really big guy. He's probably like almost 400 pounds. and he was just tired. He was sweating. He's like, fuck, man, I'm so tired. God damn. I said, don't you give up. Mm-hmm. And I was serious. I wasn't laughing. I just said, don't give up, man. He's like, I'm not, man. I'm going to keep going. This fucking dude went from almost 400 pounds. He got down to 250. Mm-hmm. And I watched his whole thing. And probably on 3 different occasions, I just stopped him, like in the parking lot or while he was in the gym. I said, man, I'm proud of you, dude.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you. Like, and me driving that message home to him, not like he probably needed to hear that. Because it's not enough people that will congratulate you in your journey. And I'm not saying you always need to be, validated, but it fucking feels good knowing that you're headed for this goal or this thing, and people recognize what you're doing. They actually appreciate that on the way to you reaching your goal. But yeah, man, I'll say this because we'll switch to this topic. We'll probably have to wrap it up here shortly, but I really want to thank you guys. We only got we got one more episode for this year, right? We got one more.
Yeah, we should. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know when let me look at my calendar.
When does that fall? Ooh, this might be the last.
So the second would be, the 3rd would be the first episode of the year.
Yeah, so this is the last one of the year. Mm-hmm. So
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. We appreciate you, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, make no mistake. Like, we take this shit very fucking seriously. Mm-hmm. So
Happy Kwanzaa too. My bad.
Happy Kwanzaa. What's the other one? That was it?
Hanukkah. I don't know when Hanukkah is, but
Hanukkah Mazel Tov. Is that what it is? I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. Feliz Navidad. If you're from China, I don't think they celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
So I mean Hadouken. I don't know.
Shoryuken.
Hadouken. Sonic boom.
You know, it'd be fire. Like if we,
you know what's fire? Yoga flame. Yoga fire.
Oh man! But what would be dope if we kind of get a studio space or whatever, and then we have a little arcade in there.
Oh fuck yeah!
90s games, Nintendo in there, Super Nintendo.
That's the objective, man. Anybody that comes to the studio, I want them to feel like they are entering an experience.
Yeah.
I want fucking food made. Like when they get there, I'll tell them beforehand, hey, man, my thing is the reason I want to have a lot of money is to have the access. When I look at Joe Rogan, he has all kinds of chefs. He has security. He has a gym that's inside of the studio, all kinds of stuff. Mm-hmm. I want you to be able to come in and experience what you want.
The crazy thing is people pulling up on Joe Rogan. He's in Austin, Texas, which is, people go out there to do comedy and stuff like that.
Right.
But people are going to see him.
Yeah.
They're making their way out there consistently. So
yeah, he still has his LA studio too. Uh-huh. Right now, Chris D'Elia and a couple other people have been using it recently.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think it's dope, man, to have that access.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could totally buy I could buy that now. Mm-hmm. The arcade, have you seen them?
I've seen the
regular, the smaller ones.
I think I've seen them at Walmart. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't sell them, but you could probably still get them online. Mm-hmm. But it'd be dope though if it had like a little quarter thing in it though. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, y'all niggas gonna have to pay.
Facts.
Yeah.
Or like a little card swipe. That'd be fire.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. It would be dope too. Is like, say if they brought some people around, like they could also be preoccupied into like another area of the studio where they could like either play the game or go get something to eat or talk on their phone, because they sure as fuck can't do it while we're recording.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you will not be in here on your phone like, ooh girl, nope. Go out in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
That's real.
But yeah, there's that, man. Switching gears, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up after this one here. Recently, a chicken head was found in it was in a KFC meal.
Like a female?
No, like literally a chicken's head with beacon eyes that they had dipped in batter and fried it, and they seasoned it.
Yeah.
The chicken looked like, and the chicken has a facial expression. The chicken is like, I can't believe y'all niggas got it. Yeah.
Y'all niggas fried me.
Yeah, they fried it too. It was a whole chicken head. All right. A horrified customer found an entire chicken head in her KFC hot wings meal. She found a hot head. Mm-hmm. And what's crazy is the chicken got hair on it and everything.
Yeah.
Wow. UK takeout customer was disgusted after finding an entire chicken head in her box of KFC hot wings. A shocking photo showed the head complete with eyes and a beak, encrusted in a crunchy batter straight out of the fryer. After ordering from KFC, Feltman in Twickenham, England, a woman named Gabriel left it a 2-star Just Eat review. Why you give it 2 stars? It was a head. It should have been 1 star. It read, "I found a fried chicken head in my hot wings meal. Put me off the rest of my meal." On the photo posted on Instagram account, people were quick to express their horror. One user said, "I really wish I could go back in time by 2 minutes when I had seen this. What does it take to get 1 star? At least you know it's
That's
real."
crazy.
Yeah, it's not another joke. Others claim that seeing an animal's head gave better awareness of what people are eating. Exactly. Fried chicken head is still fried chicken in all fairness, one user said. If you eat meal, there's nothing to complain about. You're just faced with the reality of what you're eating for once. Yeah, it's true. If you can't handle that your food is a dead animal, then you shouldn't be eating meat. Another agreed. KFC on Twitter said that it was baffled as of how the whole head had snuck into it and joked it was the most generous 2-star review ever. It also told the Sun Online, "We are genuinely surprised by this photo, says since Gabriel got in touch. We've been looking into how it happened." Wow. I mean, it's simple how it happened, man. That's how y'all really get down, bro. You guys let this shit go through the machine. But, here's the thing. The way I look at it, is it okay to have a chicken head in the goddamn whole meal? No, it's not okay, right? But we've decided as a society that chicken head is not edible, right? Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of privilege involved because there's some people that be eating those parts of the fucking chicken because they too poor. Certain countries that be eating
chicken brain.
They eat everything. They eating chicken everything. They eating chicken feet, which that does not look edible. I've never said, I sure could use some chicken feet.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be eating that. That's more or less what poor people eat. Mm-hmm. Fucking like things like chitlins or chitterlings. That's intestines. They literally get the shit out of it and then cook it. Mm-hmm. Like you shouldn't be eating this, and this is what people eat. But when we're not eating the prime cuts of meat, then we're gonna complain. But I will say this: instead of being outraged by the chicken head, I think we should be more outraged at the fact that it says right on the drive-thru window that this food can cause birth defects or cancer. It says it right on the fucking drive-thru mirror or the drive-thru window, and we're less offended by that. We continue to go through these drive-thrus that serve us literally like a science project, and we're not really mad at that because it tastes good. Yet we're mad when we see a whole chicken's fucking. That chicken had an attitude, man. He started his own rap group, Chickens with Attitude.
Chicken CWA.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, but no, that's wild. I think you're right. I think that we kind of it's that whole like believe in science when we want to believe in science
100%.
kind of thing. Yeah. And I think what probably happened that there was like a vegetarian or a vegan, and because no one in their right mind would just throw that into the fryer and then put that into the chicken bucket. Yeah. So I think it was one of those PETA vegetarian, and that maybe they only could work at KFC because that's, they may be 17, 18, and that's the only job that they qualify for. And they just kind of wanted to smear KFC's name a little bit. Yeah. And they kind of wanted to cause an uproar a little bit.
Man, fuck these niggas, man. I'm about to fry this chicken head.
Yeah, because like you said, I don't know. Do KFC, do they season it or does it come flash frozen? Or I
think that they do it fresh in store as far as battering and all of that. What I personally think, I think that what it is, they took the chicken out and the chicken comes in these big bags of frozen meat. I think that they probably accidentally put a chicken head in there, and one of the employees seen it and thought it was funny. That's what I think. That's the only way.
Somebody laughing right now.
Somebody laughing right now because that shit went viral. And he's like, "Hey, I'm the one that fried that chicken head. It was me.
Yeah,
Trevor. I fried it."
No, Trevor.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, England. It was me, Trevor. Yeah. When I hear them talk, I just think of like Harry Potter for some reason.
Yeah. That's funny.
I found the sorcerer's stone and I made it fried chicken. It's really good, right? It's really good, lad.
That's comedy. That yeah. I don't know. I think that to me it's not that big of a deal. Like I've seen I wouldn't say I've seen worse, but you see all kind of things. I've seen like fries in my food and different stuff.
What's
like
wrong with that? You said flies.
I fried fries in my food. Flies in my food.
Yeah,
yeah.
Nigga, there ain't nothing wrong with fries.
Yeah.
That's free food, man.
Yeah, I've seen flies. I've seen what you call it, like little pincher bugs and all kind of stuff that you just kind of catch in your food. And it's disgusting. It's disturbing for sure. I think above all, like one of those comments said, like it kind of reminds you that you are eating chicken. Because you could kind of like not even realize, like you're eating meat, but you're so disconnected from it being an animal because it's chopped up, it's dead, they put batter on it, it smells good. Yeah. But then you put a chicken head in there, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm really eating a thing that once.
Peter had a field day with this shit.
Oh yeah,
it'd be the same. It'd be like this. One of the main leaders of PETA, like, this is wrong. I don't eat meat. 2 hours later,
I feel like if you work for PETA, you can't do doggy style.
Yeah, I know that's
cultural appropriation.
That's animal appropriation.
Yeah,
you took an animal and just took the sex position from a dog, and didn't give the dog any credit for it. I thought about that. How weird that is.
Yeah.
Who looked at a dog having sex and be like, you know what? I'm gonna try that.
Hey, I don't know.
That's some weird.
Somebody
shit.
was like, "Yo, that look fire."
We have a really unhealthy relationship with animals.
Yeah.
We say shit about animals and stuff that's weird. Like we the only people that drink another cow's milk. Animal's milk.
Yeah. What I was thinking about too is the fact that we have coined it doggy style when there are other animals on four legs that all have sex that same way. So what made it so significant that we coined it doggy style instead of like a cat or
probably
a
because
horse or
probably because the dog is I know that the dog is like domesticated.
Yeah.
And we probably seen the dog like with his paws on another dog's back.
Yeah.
And we was like, you know what? Sparky's onto something.
Animals be having like angry, like emotional sex.
Yeah,
they'd be like, I know a cat. There was a cat, and I can tell, and I wasn't even like seeing it, but it was so aggressive and loud and like, and I was just like, this is. When I have sex, it don't sound like that.
Like, is this an orgasm or assault?
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck? Get this cat out of here, yo.
Yeah. Because any other species, if it was humans and sex was sounding like that, and a neighbor heard that, they would be calling the police.
Man, it was a cat. It was two cats having sex under my truck one time.
Oh.
I got up to go to work, and I just heard a cat.
Heck nah.
Yeah, it was like. If you don't get the fuck out from underneath my truck, man, I'm trying to go to work.
It's warm under there.
Yeah, man, y'all tripping.
Yeah.
Yo, that you got to be careful too, because cats will jump in your motor.
Oh, dang.
Yes, especially my truck is pretty opened up. Mm-hmm. So, I pop the hood to I pop it just to do that anyways, to make sure my fluid levels in good or whatever. But like, cats will jump in your shit, bro, and go to sleep. One dude, there was a video of him. Actually, Daniel Betts. It was Daniel Betts recently. Shout out to Daniel Betts. But Daniel Betts had his, he kept hearing a cow meowing. Not a cow. He kept hearing a cat meowing and shit. And he was like, there's no cats in there. What the fuck is going on? So finally he pulled up and he looked underneath it. He didn't see no cats. He opened his hood and the cat was in the fucking engine.
Oh my God.
And then he had to remove some like panel and the cat got out. And I was just like, oh my God.
It must be really cold out there.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's crazy. And it probably wouldn't have been able to get out without
him getting them out, yeah.
Or he probably would have chopped his head off trying to get out.
On a regular basis too, like I try to bring a little bit of, like, this is a random topic, but I go to a refinery every day called Kern Oil, and there's a lot of stray dogs that go up there for some reason. Mm-hmm. And I usually bring extra snacks just in case I see them. Mm-hmm. And those dogs, I don't know what it is about them. They're always really nice, well-trained dogs. I'm like, How are you a stray, man? What's going on?
Some people just let dogs go.
Yeah, some people just let them go.
They get tired. They get tired of
sad, man.
You know, maybe. Excuse me. Maybe what you call it, like feeding them every day, or it's expensive, or even especially now during the holidays. You know, people have dogs and they also want to travel, and it's just a whole thing. So,
but the positive is the workers are taking the dogs home.
Yeah, a lot of people have dogs that they just found.
Yeah, exactly. But what's going on is when the dogs go to Kern Oil, which is obviously a refinery, it's kind of dangerous in there. The dogs get in there and the workers see them and adopt the dog. I think almost
they know now, huh?
Well,
it's probably word getting around Bakersfield like, hey, pull up to Kern Oil. Niggas is taking us home out here.
Yeah, man. My homie got one of the dogs from up there. Yeah, shout out to Eugene. One of the homies, the dog came up there and the dog kept showing up every day and he was feeding the dog and shit. And then his wife was like, we're going to take the dog.
Yeah.
So they took the dog, you know.
Yeah.
There was a chocolate lab that was up there too. Mm-hmm. Really nice dog. I don't have the time. If I did, I would totally take that dog.
Yeah.
Really nice girl too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think if I do get married, I think that my wife's going to be a dog lover.
Think so?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because I love dogs. I just don't have time for them.
Yeah. Like, I mean, a lot of women have dogs. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on their lifestyle, right? But I don't know too many women that don't have a dog, or maybe they used to have a dog with their transition in, or they lived in a some type of dog for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Usually the little dogs, they like little chihuahuas and
the little dogs. Ones, the pugs and shit like that. Mm-hmm. Pugs sound like they in agony, yo.
What you mean?
Because the way that they even breathe, they just be like,
you got sleep apnea.
Yeah, their dogs. That's how they literally. And then when they sleep, they be like, like yo, bro.
Sound like an old man.
Yeah, the homegirl posted a picture of, not a picture, but a video of her dog sleeping, and the dog was literally like, I'm like, you need to put that motherfucker outside, yo.
The worst dogs be the ones that sleep on their back. They got their balls hanging everywhere.
Oh my god, yeah, them's the worst. It's like, motherfucker, you don't pay no bills to be yelling like that. You're gonna put you in a doghouse out there. I think like back in the day, dogs were never in-house dogs. That's more of a new modern thing. Back in the day, dogs was in doghouses.
At least when I was growing up, my grandma always kept her dogs outside. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that wasn't. And then when it got in the house, it was just like it had to sneak in the house. Like it was like, if you don't get your ass out of here, people running around the house trying to whoop it and whatnot. But
no.
But now I don't know too many dogs that be outside.
That's not very many.
Yeah.
At certain times of the year, you do not want your pet outside. When it's fucking
too cold,
frigid cold, that's fucked up. Some people it's cold as fuck, and some people got their dogs outside. When you usually always hit a dog barking like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah," and then when it get cold, the dog be back there like just looking around.
Dang, that's real. In the neighborhood, it be dogs like barking all night, like "row, row, row," and you know the dog is old when it don't have no real bass and they bark. It's just a row, row.
No, that's not the dog barking. He asking for help. Like, call that fucking ambulance, man. Get an ambulance over here. Like, I'm tired of these motherfuckers, man. They keep me outside all day.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in keeping dogs on a chain all day. That's fucked up, yo.
Yeah, they need a little bit of. I guess it depends, like the situation, because some dogs be trying to escape the yard a lot. So if you got dogs that is just like digging holes and running through fences and stuff like that, that's one thing. And then also like if you live in I guess like a certain neighborhood where you may only have like a front yard or something like that, and you don't want the dog barking at every student walking by. But for the most part, but that comes even with training your dog. You know, a lot of people just let the dog run the house low key, where their dog is barking all night, or you know they don't know how to not bark when people are walking in the front yard and stuff like that.
Some people, it was funny, especially the way black folks talk to their dog. That shit be hilarious. Mm-hmm. If you don't shut your motherfucking ass up, and the dog be like,
that was funny.
Yeah.
Or they like get into the trash or something like,
oh man,
buddy, get your ass in here.
Nah, black folks be giving dogs black names. Deshaun, get your motherfucking ass out the trash can. Denitria,
Nah, it'd be like a regular dog name, but it's still got a little black on the end. What? Buddy Isha, if you don't get your ass in here, always digging in his trash can.
Dante, get your ass in here. Oh man. Be funny. White folks, it seems like white people when they name their dogs, it's like a regular like person's name, and you don't know who they talking to until you see the dog walk up. It'll be like Bradley, Alicia, Bradley. Dog come downstairs like that's a dog's name. What the fuck? What happened to Sparky?
That was funny.
Baxter. If you say Baxter, I'm like that's definitely a dog. Definitely a dog's name.
That was funny.
Yeah, man. But yeah, we totally veered off the topic. Yeah, the KFC shit's funny, man. Just be more cognizant of the shit you're eating going into 2020. Watch your sodium too, man. A lot of us eat way too much fucking salt. People need to start tracking what you eat, making sure you're not getting way too much sugars and salt going into the new year, man. Me and Keith, man, we got to get moving here soon, so we apologize for the shortness of the pod. But we will be back bigger, better, faster, stronger, smarter, more successful,
bigger,
more blacker, bigger hair.
Bigger hair.
Stronger, better, faster, stronger. I think that came from, actually, that was from Daft Punk.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's only like, that song was like 10 million records sold or something crazy like that. I think there's two songs. It's an Eminem song and then that Kanye West song where I think the artist it's a diamond record, but it's produced and like performed or written by the same person. There's only two of those, and I think it's Eminem, Lose Yourself, and then that song. So
wow,
yeah,
history. Wow. Yeah, man. Well, shout out to them. All right, man. Well, how much? Where were we at, man?
Like 57 minutes.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, well, this will be good for a short ride to work or something, guys. All right, well, first and last, actually, since it's going to be the end of the year, Happy New Year, because it'll be the new year. Merry Christmas.
Yep. Thank you, everybody, for rocking with us for this long, man.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a long, crazy journey, but we'll be back strong going in, and we will have some new content for you guys. So, if you made it to the end of this podcast, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
We're out of here.
Peace.